But I ain't even gonna lie, my goat Jiraya is probably one of the realest niggas in Naruto. He really walked into a nigga shit who had home court advantage. He still outsmarted these niggas and he packed up 3 of these niggas, gang. Like, come on, bro. And so today we will be talking about how he got his card stamped. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be talking about how my goat Jiraya earned his real nigga card. So without further ado, let's get in this shit. So it starts with Jiraiya coming out this toad mouth. And it's like, bro, him and Orochimaru on the same freaky shit. But I'm pretty sure Orochimaru like licking on little boys. Yeah, let's not talk about what Jiraiya said to Naruto that one time. So they show my goat looking at the Hidden Rain village and shit, looking all cool and shit. And Pain instantly peeped. So Jiraiya walking around the village, getting intel and shit about the Hidden Rain. So he find these 2 lame ass ninjas to get intel on Pain. And not gonna lie, at first they was standing on business. They wasn't saying shit. They was on they whoop-de-doo young thug shit. So Jiraiya turned one of his homeboys to a frog. And then that gunner came out and nigga started telling him everything. But Conan on that though. He ended up turning that nigga into paper and was getting ready to stab this nigga. And Jiraiya came from under the ground and he threw some fire at her. And she blocks it by throwing a paper shield. And I'm not the smartest nigga, but ain't that shit was supposed to burn right through the paper? Like, come on. So you got me thinking, what type of paper is that? Because if I tried that shit, I'll be burnt to a crisp. Me and Armin would be twinning right now. And Jiraiya all like, damn, I thought you was dead. Or at least I never thought your ass would turn into paper. So she started floating in the air and she formed these paper wings. Like, man, if you don't get that weak ass shit, like literally nobody gave a damn. Like Jiraiya wasn't surprised or anything. Like, bitch, if you don't get your ass on. Even Jiraiya said some shit about her. Nigga said, so that weak ass shit make you feel like an angel? And so she starts shooting him with paper bullets. And Jiraiya shoots his fire. And Jiraiya rolls out the way. And he straight threw up on the ass. Like, nigga, ugh. And so Jiraiya wraps her up with his hair. Like, I need to put this nigga in the movie Trolls. And so Pain pop up and summon this big ass crab out the wall. And the crab end up throwing up some white shit. So after he turned that crab into a seafood boil, he goes after Pain. He started questioning him again. But Pain gave him nothing but insults. He was like, Jiraiya, you wouldn't understand. You just an old nigga that love to look at titties and shit. And don't call me no man, nigga, I'm a god now. Yeah, he talking all that good shit, but in reality, this nigga's a fucking twig. So Pain ended up substituting out of there and summons this big ugly ass lizard. So Jiraiya rebuttals and summons his toad, Gamakin. So Pain and his ugly ass lizard go invisible. So my goat whips his hair. But I don't really think this shit look cool though. Like, the nigga really whipped his hair back like a bad bitch. So Jiraiya ended up setting up his barrier, and basically, even though the nigga invisible, if he come in that fucking barrier, that nigga over with. So Pain claps back by summoning this 3-headed ugly ass dog. But Jiraiya can't do nothing because he got his hands stuck together. He can't move them because he trying to stomach the 2 great sages. So Gaimakin jumps up and pins the dog to the wall with his stick. So Gaimakin trying to run away from the dogs, bouncing wall to wall and shit. Now Jiraiya is surrounded by these ugly ass dogs, but they ain't know he had a trick up his sleeve. He sucked all the dogs inside the toad's stomach, ended up murking their ass. And they sniped that ugly ass lizard, but the lizard ended up being a shadow clone. And Pain summoned this ugly ass bird. And bro, why does the Renegon possess the most ugly ass animals? Like, they got that ugly ass dog, that ugly ass lizard, and this ugly ass bird. And so Jiraiya started running away from the bird. And while he's running, the bird started dropping off doodoo bombs. Then Jiraiya ended up hitting the cut, and then he hit the bird with fireball jutsu. Before this nigga could even take a breath, this nigga Pain summons a giant rhino. I mean, this rhino actually looks kind of cool. But how many fucking animals do this nigga have in his inventory? Like, god damn, nigga, we fighting or we at a damn zoo? But Gamakin comes in and he stops this nigga. Another summon started running at Jiraiya, but he ended up clapping him too. And like, my goat packed up all these summons, gang. Like, give him his real nigga card right now, bro. And Jiraiya walking out the hole looking all cool and shit, cause he finally completed his transformation. And even though he my goat, we thought this transformation was gonna look hard. But this nigga ended up walking out with 2 senior citizen ass frogs. So I'm sitting here like, what the fuck he gonna do with these old ass toads? So I had to remember, shit, he the goat, I'ma just let this nigga cook. So we see the toad lady wrap around her tongue, and I'm like, shit, me next. But she ended up spewing some yellow shit out her tongue, and Gramps cut the nigga head with some water. And I'm excited cause I was real disappointed when I seen these 2 old ass niggas walking out. And so Jiraiya ended up having this flashback of how this old ass toad telling him he's gonna make a hard decision one day. But first, let's talk about this ugly ass toad. Them crusty ass lips. Like, nigga, y'all are frauds for a reason. Y'all whole body supposed to be moisturized. So you telling me every part of your body is moisturized but them your crusty ass lips? But yeah, the toad started saying some wisdom or riddles and shit. You know, I wasn't listening to that shit. So this one starts with Jiraya ready to get down. But the toad started yapping, talking about how he talking loud and what they finna eat for dinner tonight. And it's like, bro, one of y'all niggas ain't gonna be able to make it at dinner. So one of the pains see the yap fest going on. He started rushing him, but Jiraya kicked this nigga straight in the dome. But Jiraya wasn't done, so him and his toes hit him with a quick little move. They started spitting out water, oil, and fire. But one of the pains stepped in front of him and absorbed that shit. And I'm like, man, if y'all don't get this Kirby ass nigga out of here. But Jiraya was surprised by this. Then he instantly hit the nigga with a massive Rasengan. Like, bro, look how big that shit is. And he really thought that shit was gonna work. But that pain eat those. And the pain from earlier popped up on the side, ready to sneak this nigga. But the toad was on point. He made a smoke bomb and ended up throwing the Uno reverse card. Like, bro had a wide open 3, but he bricked that shit. But Jiraya wasn't done. He started shooting his hair at the animal path. But he did some hand signs and blocked it with a big ass panda. So they fall back and they think of a strategy. And so their strategy was to put him under a genjutsu. And so the toad started putting him under a spell and calling him in. So all 3 paths started running towards the sound. He ended up keeping the Kirby path occupied. And the other one ended up being blinded. So Jiraya ended up hitting the third one with a fireball jutsu. So anyway, they dodged and the blind one ended up getting stuck. Now he ended up getting left one-on-one with the animal path. And I'm telling you, bro, I feel like the reason why the animal path is just some of the animals and shit, that nigga don't got no hands. So Jiraya kicks him, knocking the air out this nigga. So that's when the genjutsu started kicking in. And that's when they all realized they were trapped in the stomach of a toad. So Jiraya just started yapping to these niggas. And I know I'm not the only one that noticed this, but this nigga Jiraya got a yam on his face, bro. And speaking of this nigga nose, I know it don't smell good in that nigga's stomach. And I know your big nose ass smelling every fucking thing. So hurry up and wrap this shit up. And so he ended up stabbing all 3 of them with a sword. And it's like, bro, come on, bro. His real nigga card is stamped, bro. This shit is stamped. And then he ended up saying, it's finally over. And so, nigga, after he did this, I had a fucking sigh of relief, bro. I'm thinking like, you know, this shit crazy. But shit, if only I knew. And this nigga pops up. So I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? So he punches Jiraya, had this nigga flying out the building. And bro, from that punch, bro, this got this nigga Jiraya bleeding, bro. Got my goat bleeding, bro. And you know, when he was bleeding and shit, you know, I didn't really think shit of it. You know, I just thought he got stabbed or whatever. But they panned the camera out. This nigga lost his whole arm, bro. And you know, my goat being my goat, that nigga not fazed by it. And then it happened. These niggas come out. And so time for the last and final file. Let the jumping begin. So that's when I realized it's 6 of these niggas, gang. And they posted up all cool and shit. And this nigga Jiraya is perplexed cause like, bro, where the fuck is these niggas coming from? And so they jump down getting ready to jump this nigga. But my goat being my goat, you know, he holding up a little bit. But he speed blitzes the one that look like Yahiko. But that shit easy blocks. So he drives down the nigga with no hands in the water. And so he end up being inside of a barrier with acid all around. And so he jumps up to avoid the acid. And my goat came around the corner with a Rasengan in his hand, making that nigga fall inside the acid. And so he pop out the acid and end up stabbing Jiraya in the wrist and shoulder. Then he end up malfunctioning. And so the headband of the pain falls off and that nigga start recognizing who the hell he was. And so the toad's telling him like, bro, we should get the fuck out of here. And my goat being my goat saying, man, fuck all that. I ain't going out like no hoe. And so Jiraya realized this pain is a shinobi he fought before. So he gave the intel to the toad so they can bring it back to the leaf. So he came up out the water to fight pain. Not necessarily fight pain, but you know what I mean. And so Jiraya got a good look at all them niggas' faces and realized that they are all people he had met before. And so it clicks in his brain and now he know who Pain is. And before he can say it, Bald Pain comes out the water grabbing him by the throat. And this is the moment, ladies and gentlemen, where my goat takes his last few breaths. And so they all come down on him, stabbing this nigga in the back. And they all back up thinking he dead. But Jiraya has that real nigga willpower, nigga. And so he write the message on a toad back and a toad gets away, alerting the hidden leaf that he got jumped in the hidden rain by some pussy ass niggas. So Jiraya, man, take your shit, man. You earned it, man. You earned that real nigga card, gang. So Jiraya, man, yeah, your shit stamped, gang. You will always be a real nigga in my eyes. And yeah, that was the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Who y'all think deserve the real nigga card next? And I'll see y'all in the next video. I'm gone.